Hi, I'm Steve, the introverted traveler. I've made it my mission in life to explore the beaches, deserts, mountains, and even cityscapes around us, and to do so while avoiding contact with as many people as possible. And although I will never hang out with you for any reason, I do invite you to join me on my journey. Come and see the world through the eyes of an extreme introvert. On this adventure, we are in Mount Rainier National Park, near the Longmire Historic District, hiking to Eagle Peak. Along the way, we will traverse through thick forest, attempt to scramble up a death trail, and take in the breathtaking views of a massive killer volcano. All this and much more on this Introverted Travels. Greetings, and I'm back once again on yet another adventure. And today I had this big speech worked out about the weather here in the Pacific Northwest. I was going to tell you that it's like the middle of summer. It's the very beginning of August, and in normal parts of the world it's nice and warm and sunny. I've said this in other videos because, well, this has happened in other hikes. But here in the Pacific Northwest, well, the Pacific Northwest insists on being the Pacific Northwest. And today, my drive up to the particular trail that I am doing, which was a pretty long drive, was nothing but gray, overcast skies. So I was going to go on this tear about the Pacific Northwest sucking because it's always gray and its default is gray clouds and rain, and you know, the usual rants of a middle-aged man rapidly approaching the abyss at the end of his life. But I got here. I don't know if you can see it, and it's not exactly sun. It's one of those sun-cloud combinations that the Pacific Northwest is an expert in producing. But when I got here, the sun came out. So I can't bitch, moan, and complain about it being overcast because it's not overcast. Now, if I wait 2 minutes, it'll be snowing and hailing, and then I can bitch, whine, moan, and complain. So look forward to that after the introduction section. However, I should tell you that today I decided to do something that I haven't really done before. I've done it once. So if you go all the way back to the beginning of my videos, and I don't know why you would, because the videos I produce now aren't very good, and the ones that I produced then are really, really not very good. But I did a video in which I went to Canada with my wife and my dog. I showed you the ferry in Canada. I showed you the park in Vancouver. I showed you this. I showed you that. On the way home, we went to Mount Rainier National Park. It was the one and only time that I've ever filmed there, and the one and only time I've ever visited there. It's because it's not Mount Rainier National Park. It's Mount, why are there so many people here? There's so many people here. There's cars everywhere. There's people popping out of the trees. There's people popping out of the bushes. There's people coming down the mountain. There's people going up the mountain. There's literally people spewing out of the gigantic volcano. That's how many people are here. National Park. They call it Mount Rainier National Park for short, but that entire thing that I just said, that's the actual official name of the park. Why? Because there's too many damn people here. However, today I am going to something called Eagle Peak. It is on, don't remember the entrance I came in, but it's on the southwestern side of the park. If you look at the park as a giant square, it's down here, and that's not a very busy entrance. And apparently this hike is not a very busy hike. The coked out nutheads on AllTrails described it as a hidden gem, and then of course they're like, we shouldn't really tell anybody about this. Gatekeep. Well, I don't gatekeep. I tell everybody. And when I got to the trailhead today, you tune into these videos for the meat and potatoes, so we'll get to the meat and potatoes. When I got to the trailhead today, 4 cars. Now, that was about half a mile past a bunch of buildings and a huge parking lot that had like 20 cars in it. So there may be hikers from there, but let me live in my delusion. Let me live inside my rapidly decaying brain, and let me just believe in the fantasy that nobody walked half a mile up the road to get to the trailhead, especially because there were parking spots at the trailhead. So let me think that only the people who were in the cars at the trailhead are out here in the trail. 4 cars, if you do the introverted math, times 4, minimum amount of 4 people per car, that's 16 people. That's still fiery, awful, decaying horribleness. But it's better than 1,600 people that are on the other trails in the other parts of the park. So, this may indeed be a hidden gem. Now, according to the app that is not a gem, but should be hidden from all existence forever, AllTrails, this hike is about 6.5 miles. However, I checked a Washington hiker site that has a database full of trails on it last night, and that said it was 7 miles. And then I checked the trailhead sign that also said, it was 3.5 up and 3.5 down. So it also said it was 7 miles. So once again, AllTrails is underestimating the mileage because AllTrails can't estimate anything. And why can't AllTrails estimate anything? Well, A, it's literally programmed by sentient walruses that do bumps of cocaine before they go into work. And B, AllTrails sucks. So, I think I've said it all. I've bitched and moaned and whined and complained about the weather actually being nice and not allowing me to bitch, moan, and whine and complain about the weather not being nice. I've bitched, moaned, and whined and complained about the number of people that are in this park. But hopefully we won't see that many people because it's a hidden gem. But of course, I'm not a gatekeeper. So every person who's watching this video, all 2 of you, and every person who's watching me on Reels on Instagram and so forth, should come out and enjoy this trail. Monday through Saturday. Sundays it's closed. I knew they'd find some kind of way to get me. I still haven't seen anybody out here on this trail whatsoever, but I'm high above the main road down there. I'm going to a peak, so thus I'm on a mountain. And I'm hearing mundane conversations drifting up from like 2 miles away. That's how loud people can be. So I found myself a nice peaceful hike in an incredibly busy national park. And the busy national park part is still haunting me. This is why I say, when you're out in nature, shh, because you never know how many weird, bald introverts are out in the woods ranting about you like 3 miles away because they can still hear you. Well, apparently I was wrong, because those voices I heard, unfortunately, they weren't from the valley below. They were still about a mile away from me when I heard them, but I'm so slow. Of course, I am known as the lightning tortoise, which means that I'm as fast as a tortoise running from lightning, which isn't very fast. But those voices I heard echoing through the woods were other hikers. And eventually they caught up to me because they looked like they were half my age and half my size, and they still had the will to live in this world. So they are up above somewhere to ruin my experience later when I finally do get to the peak. But yeah, they were shouting and hollering and laughing and doing whatever the hell people think is okay to do in nature. And I've had this rant 100 million times. When you're in a natural commons, you don't use your outdoor voice, because your outdoor voice, well, is annoying as hell, and it bothers other human beings. Now, contrary to all the horse crap that Americans have been fed for hundreds of years, we are not individuals. Unfortunately, we are a collective of beings. Now, some of us like to sit on the periphery of the collective and, judge and shout at the rest of you, but we are still part of a collective, and we have to be sensitive to the fact that everything we say, do, and decide affects other people. And here in a natural commons, land that we all share, we have to understand that things that we do can impact the needs of others, and that we need to limit that impact as much as possible. It's just the ethically responsible thing to do. So a true outdoor voice for a natural commons isn't shouting and screaming and acting like a rabid animal in the middle of the woods, unless you have a GoPro. That's the exception. No, it's being respectful. It's not hooting and hollering as loud as you can, and it's definitely not talking about whatever mundane bullshit you people talk about. So because I know that the collective IQ of social media is pretty low, and you literally need things spelled out oftentimes with sock puppets, I'm going to give you some examples of what should be okay to do in the outdoors and what is not okay to do as far as conversations and loudness and so on and so forth. Talking about your mundane job that is slowly rotting away at your heart and ultimately killing you, it's not okay. No, nobody wants to hear that. Telling somebody they're about to fall off a cliff, that's okay. You can do that. Talking about your Aunt Sophie's roommate's brother's truffle recipe? No. I don't want to hear that. I mean, I might want the truffle recipe, but I don't need the human part to go with it. Telling someone that they're about to get jumped by a cougar? Okay, yes, you can scream and shout for that one. I will give you the exception for that one. Talking about your hobbies or movies that you saw or television shows that you saw. No, first of all, spoiler alerts. And second of all, nobody wants to hear that when they're out here in the woods. So, telling someone that they're being wrapped up by an anaconda as the head of the anaconda is clamping down on the person's skull. Okay, that's okay. You can say that stuff. Whenever it pertains to safety, you can say it. But whenever it pertains to your asinine existence, no, shh. We always remember Principle 7 of leave no trace and shut the hell up when you're on the hiking trail. Well, the shine is quickly coming off of this hidden gem. I was just passed by what I can only describe as a horde. It wasn't just one person. It wasn't just two people. It wasn't three. It wasn't four. It was literally infinity plus infinity. Okay, more like 7 people, but still 7 people. Now, I will tell you, however, I'm a little bit torn about how I should react to that, because that giant horde of human beings, they were coming at me. They weren't passing me, meaning they were removing themselves from the thing that I'm going towards and getting the hell out of here. I can't disagree with that behavior. I mean, when you're getting as far away from me as possible, I encourage that. I always encourage those who may see me to just walk in the other direction, because that's just the humane thing to do. So on that idea, I'm absolutely happy. I'm dancing a jig. Okay, not really, because I'd break a hip if I danced a jig. But I'm incredibly enthusiastically happy because I just passed a horde of people that aren't gonna bother me when I'm up there. They bothered me for about 5 seconds, which was terrible and awful and nightmarish, but it was only 5 seconds. It could have been, well, let's face it, it could be sandwich eating at the damn peak. But they removed themselves. There were 7 people who are no longer eating sandwiches at the peak. And for that, I am eternally grateful. On the other hand, I just passed 7 people. Oh, I think I need to go take an acid bath. Oh, people. Ah. Wait a second. In a national park. Now, I just did Stagman Ridge around Mount Adams, and that place is not a national park. It's just a national forest. And I had to hop over like 100 and something logs that were down from fires and from storms and all sorts of things. So that situation I kind of understand. But this in a national park? Of course, I say that, and we are currently under occupation of an orange little, dumb as shit dictator who has gutted the Forest Service and all the other agencies. So when you fire all the workers who are doing the jobs and tasks the federal government needs you to do, you get logs across the trail. So we're going to do what I always do. I'm going to show you how to navigate this log when you're 46 years old. I don't know if I'm going to navigate it safely because, again, I'm 46 years old and just moving and breathing isn't safe for me anymore. I mean, I take in a deep breath, I pop a vertebrae. So we're going to forget about orange little Nazi dictators. Forget about how dumb the population has to be to elect orange little Nazi dictators or whatever I call them. And we're going to focus on me trying to get the hell over this log. So let's go. And hell, I'm not going under. No. Going under means the spine is flexing, and that means things start falling off. A lot of you are probably looking at it going, hey, just go under. It's so much easier. Go under. There's lots of space on. You're not 46 years old. Look like a turtle. I mean, come on. Have you seen this body? I mean, yes, it's the body of an Adonis, but it's the body of a big Adonis. So here we go. Let's see, reposition you. There we go. Now, if I can't do this safely, I'll just turn off the GoPro and tell you I made it over safely. So let's go. All right, let's see. I think if I put a foot here and maybe here. Okay, watch me from afar. Okay, watch me from afar. See how I do. Oof. Oh boy. Oh yeah, there goes my hip. Oh, popping. Things are twisting. Oh boy. Oh yeah. Oh, it wasn't supposed to bend like that. Oh yeah. Every freaking year I've lived, it's just exploded inside my body. Well, I made it. Kinda, sorta. I mean, I accomplished the goal, but at what cost? And again, I'm middle-aged, so I won't know the cost until I wake up tomorrow morning and try to move. All right, I'm almost out of the forest, and I've only seen 2 people go ahead of me going in the direction of the peak, but I've been seeing tons of people coming down, and as far as I know, there's no connecting trails, and it's getting weirder and weirder the further I go up. There was a dude just laying down on the trail, just like spread eagle, just right on the trail, just laying there. I kind of had to tiptoe around him. There was a shirtless dude running around, and there were people with video cameras that weren't GoPros. And now straight ahead, there's somebody screaming and shouting as they make their way. I mean, they were like, I see them, they're way up there, and they're still making noises. So I don't know what the hell is going on out here. As I get further and further along and closer to the goal, things are getting weirder and weirder and weirder. This is the problem with other people existing in the same universe I do. It sucks. Oh, okay. I saw them a minute ago, but the people are getting closer and closer. So there's some bushes there. There's some bushes over here. I'm gonna go hide. So those loud people that were coming down, well, they passed me. I can still hear them in the woods, and they were talking about lupus research. They were screaming and shouting through the forest about lupus research. Now, mind you, lupus research is an important thing, and I'm not ragging on that. But save it for the hospital doctor or for the lab or for whatever. You don't need to shout it in a national park where other people are around. But forget about that. We all know that rant. We know that those people were terrible and they were violating leave no trace and all that stuff. We already know that. That if you come out here and you scream and shout in the woods, you're an idiot and you're wrong, and you just move on with your life because you're totally wrong, and there's nothing you can say or do to truly defend yourself, especially in the eyes of the Introverted collective. But what I really want to talk about is there's some rocks up there, and I'm hearing the Pikas. Talk about rude and ridiculous in a natural comments. I get anywhere near the Pikas and they start going, ee, ee, ee. I swear, I'm like the natural enemy of the Pikas, and I've never even seen the damn things. You hear them all the time, but they're these elusive little rodents. And so they're up there in the rocks. They're screaming, they're shouting. Oh, by the way, there's some cool geology in this direction. I still don't have great views because I'm just starting out of the forest, but my hike was interrupted by medical research and Pikas screaming at me, so I figured, I'd stop and just make a rant. But yeah, those little furry bastards are up there, and if I have to get anywhere near them, they're going to protest, because they always do. You get right on the pile, you're like balancing on the rocks, and you're trying not to fall to one side or the other. You're trying to concentrate, and they come out and go, ee! I swear, the Pikas are in cahoots with AllTrails. Both want you to come in the middle of the woods so they can kill you. There you go. So yeah, we got some views right there. Unfortunately, I had some views of people screaming and talking about medical research to the woods. But I think I'm almost to the top. I think I got about half a mile left. So let's go up this increasingly steep and scary looking trail. And let's hope the Pikas don't eat us on the way there. You probably can't see this on a GoPro, but I see a Pika. It's scrambling over the rocks up there. Well, now it's disappeared, so I can go ahead and just narrate because I don't think I'm going to miss anything. But yeah, it was running back and forth from the rocks, carrying like grass or something in its mouth. A little rodent. But yeah, there's some people that go years and years and years and years without seeing Pika. Because you always hear them, but you never see them. Much like those weird-ass bugs in the state of Florida. Those things are just nasty, and there's also a lot of Republicans in the state of Florida, so the whole place is just nasty. But Pika are actually cute. I don't see any more up there, but yeah, there was one up there moving around way too far away for me to actually get a good picture of it, and definitely probably too far for the GoPro to make any difference whatsoever. But you're just going to have to trust me. I saw furry goodness from the rocks. Now, I'm surprised it didn't try to start like a rock slide in my direction, because those things are evil. I mean, yes, they're cute, but they want to kill you. Don't make any mistake about it. They're up there. They're waiting for you to just be in the right place where you can get scared and fall over. And then they come out and go, ee! So, somewhere up there, a Pika is watching me. And it's plotting. So we have half of Mount Rainier right in front of us. And then we got half of whatever the hell this is. But we're at the end of the maintained trail. Travel safely, causing minimum impact beyond here. Okay, we have no problem doing that. But apparently it's a scramble up to the actual peak. So the trail ends here. This is the saddle. So you get some awesome views. I mean, look at that. That's half a giant monster volcano. And it's so huge. It's got its own weather system. I mean, look at that. So I'm going to attempt to scramble. Now, I've got a sore foot today. So if it comes down to either cutting off my foot to make it to the top or just turning around, I'm just going to turn around because, I mean, at least we got half the volcano. But I'm going to attempt to make it all the way up. So travel safely. And let's try not to die. I mean, out of all the things that I'm doing this Sunday, trying not to die is the most important. This will seem like the same video, but it's actually a second video because I went up there a little bit. I took a shot of the volcano thinking that that was the route AllTrails wanted me to take. Oh no, AllTrails has decided it wants to go up there, and there's the scramble. So I'm going to attempt it for just a few seconds. If it's terrible and awful like AllTrails likes to do, then I'm just going to actually go back up here and get some cool shots. And I mean, look at we see the volcano, we get it. It's big, it goes boom, it's full of snow, etc., etc. So I don't think it's worth breaking my neck, but I'm going to attempt the scramble because I am an Adonis and a He-Man and a hero and all those adjectives. But let's see how hard it is, and let's see if I can do it without without dying. So otherwise we'll just go that way. There's going to be volcano in your future, no matter what. Either a broken hip in this direction or volcano in that direction, or it could be a broken hip with volcano. We'll try for that one, and if not, then I'll go back and show you the volcano on the other side. Yeah, no, that looks like certain death. I mean, I'll do some stupid things, but clinging to rotting tree roots on the side of a granite something or other, not my idea of a good time. So we're not going to make it all the way up to the peak because there's no way up to the peak other than being a freaking idiot and Spider-Manning a way up. Do I look like I'm Spider-Man? I look like I'm Spider-Man's overweight elderly cousin. I mean, as much as I would love to do that, I think I'm just going to go back. Of course, I have to go back down some gnarly stuff because I went up some gnarly stuff. But yeah, I'm going to avoid the Evil Dead tree root hell in front of me. I mean, it's just getting worse and worse and worse. So I understand that people do this and they go up there, but I also understand that people are idiots and they put themselves in danger all the time and they do ridiculous, stupid things when they could just go down the trail a little bit and probably get the same view of Mount Rainier. So we're going to go look at Mount Rainier from a sane distance on a sane trail. And yeah, no, sorry, AllTrails. I know you love to lure me into the woods and say, hey, look at this challenging trail. Wouldn't it be cool for your video if you went up this tree limb hell? You'd be a stud. You'd get so many views. Of course, the reality is, even if I did go up this and I put it on like Instagram or YouTube, I'd get like 5 views. I mean, the algorithm would be like, that's just a fat guy climbing a mountain. Look, there's an AI kitten. So yeah, I'm going to avoid the pain and suffering that comes from having to get 5 views. And I'm going to go back and we're going to go look at the volcano the same way on a trail that's not like this. Oh yeah, and I should note that if you ever are in a situation like that where you just don't feel safe, it's okay to turn around. No, A, no one cares. And B, I'm at the freaking top of the mountain. I'm not going to go to the very tippy top just to go, ooh, look. I mean, I can get the same views from a safe distance. Thank you very much. So always consider your own safety and your skill level and your comfort level and plan accordingly. If you need to turn around, by all means, turn around. I'm doing it, and we all know I'm a stud. So let's go look at some volcano. And here's another tip for you. If you ever find yourself with pine trees in your mouth on something that standing up looks like you're literally going to fall to your death. I mean, obviously it's not that far away, but I'm 6'3". That to me looked like Australia, literally like I was in space looking at Australia. So I'm doing the one move that I don't really show in my videos that often because it's kind of hard to film, and well, it's kind of embarrassing because let's face it, I'm about to ass scoot. I'm not going very far, But you get to see something that has saved me many times in many different situations. Whenever you're scrambling, never forget your butt. Your butt is probably one of the most important things you have during a scramble. Because watch this. You know, I could try walking it, and I could twist my ankle, and I could fucking smash my head against these rocks right here. There'd be blood, there'd be flesh. I'd have like a gash in my skull. You'd see my brain. Or I could use my ass. Sometimes using your ass is the wisest move. So here we go. Also, I'm getting whacked in the head, which crap. So going down, scooching. Oh, there's a rock in my butt cheek. Oh boy. Okay. Okay. All right. I have now brought myself like a toddler to a stand, and now I can continue on and show you volcano. Ooh, got a rock right in the right cheek, like right in the center, nowhere near the hole at all, but like right in the center of my butt cheek's sore now. Well, imagine that. I get a fairly decent view of the volcano, and I didn't have to die. That's Eagle Peak right way up there. And to get up there, you have to literally crawl through Middle Earth. And I don't like Lord of the Rings. On this side, we have some clouds. Looks like mist is starting to roll in. I'll only be up here to film, and then I'm getting the hell out of here, as you should. There should be no sandwich eating up here. No snacking. You get up, you look at the cool thing, and then you get the hell out, so you're courteous to the next person that doesn't want anything to do with you. But, yeah, there's Mount Rainier. And actually, by the time I got up to that peak, I'm pretty sure the mist would have rolled in. I wouldn't have seen a damn thing. So, there, we have a gigantic stratovolcano. That is the monster that we continuously see from afar, from other trails that I've been on. Now, in the distance, and I'll probably show you this to you on the way out, I kind of sort of see Mount Adams. It's my favorite volcano again, but it's also cloudy, and it's the Pacific Northwest is just, well, it's being an asshole. But yeah, there we are. That is beautiful, wonderful Mount Rainier. All right, I'm sure I can get a better shot of this, but it's between two trees, so it's an easy landmark for me to show you. So right there, between the two trees, you can barely see it, and I don't know how it's going to show up on a GoPro, but it's Mount Adams, way in the distance. I'm not sure how far away that actually is, and somewhere in that direction is probably Mount St. Helens, but yeah, I can barely show you Mount Adams, or maybe that's Mount St. That's Mount something 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 something. There's a volcano out there, but it's covered in clouds. It's covered in bleh, and yeah. So if I was here on a good day, and if I could make it all the way up to Break Your Leg Peak up there, I would be able to show you probably a bunch of volcanoes. But haven't you already seen a bunch of volcanoes? Haven't I already done this hike, or some version of the hike where we went up and went ooh, and we looked at volcanoes? Let me tell you something. Here in the Pacific Northwest, that seems to be every mountain summit. You go up on top of Mount St. Helens and you look out on Mount Rainier and go, ooh. You go up on Mount Hood, you look out on the Mount Adams and go, ooh. You get up to the top of Mount Adams, you look out and you say, ooh, it's Mount St. Helens. Ooh, Mount Rainier. I mean, literally, you just go up one volcano to look at 15 more. So, yeah, I don't know if I'm repeating myself or if that's just what we do here in the Pacific Northwest, but there's a volcano over there. Now, I think it's Mount Adams, but it could be Mount St. Helens and Mount Adams. Maybe I don't know, and frankly, I'm in pain because my feet hurt and I want to leave, so I don't care. Unfortunately, I'm back in the forest, but I'm also back on the selfie stick, and this is the way to my car. I've probably got a few miles left, but it's all down, literally all downhill from here. It's like my life. Everything's going downhill. I mean, that's just the way it is. Why is that a saying? Oh, everything's going downhill. Isn't that a good thing? I mean, don't people like down? Shouldn't you be saying, oh, my life sucks, everything's going uphill? I mean, seriously. Uphill's hard and difficult, and you could slip and die, and there's Pikas yelling at you. Downhill? I mean, you're still walking, but it's a lot easier. So yeah, I don't understand some of the sayings we have in English. Everything's going downhill. Good. You know what's downhill? My car. So everything's going downhill. And that's a great thing. All right, here's an update. I think I was the last one coming up the top. Now, weirdly, when I was coming down, I thought I was completely alone at the very top. I didn't go to the very, very peak where that break your ass scramble was. I didn't feel like shattering my femur or my skull or anything else. So I didn't go up to the very, very top through the scramble. So they may have been up there, but I'm coming back down, and 2 park rangers come down behind me. And I have no idea where they were. I mean, they were probably up at the peak, but that's kind of an unofficial trail, and they looked like they had the radios and everything. They looked like they were meaning business, so I don't know where they came from. There may have been extra trails I didn't see up there. I have no idea. All right, seriously, I'm beginning to think that peak that I didn't go to was like a clown car, because I just saw 2 more people, and literally I don't know where else they would have been, nor do I understand why they would be spending so much time up at the very top, because I was up there for a while. I was taking photos. I was trying not to die on a bunch of tree branches and stuff, and I did some video stuff and all that. So I was up there for a good 15-20 minutes, but then I came back down. And that's when the rangers passed me. So, okay, I understand rangers. Who knows where they came from? There could be side trails. They may have been at the peak. I doubt it highly, because, again, they look like they were on the job because they had the radio and all that stuff. But then 2 more people came behind me about 15 minutes, 20 minutes later. I don't know where the hell they came from. There's no other connecting trails up there, but maybe that's where the rangers came from. Maybe they came from the same place. But seriously, let this be a reminder to all of you introverts out there in the woods. They're hiding in the trees. They're hiding in the rocks. They're everywhere. Because even when you think you're alone, you may not be alone. I don't know how the forest hides them so well, but yeah, there's literally, I mean, I always say people were falling from the sky. Apparently today, people are literally just crawling out of the forest. All right, so according to the thing that I wish would crawl into the forest and die, aka AllTrails, I have about a little under 2 miles left in this hike, and thus a little under 2 miles before I can get back to the trailhead. And you know the rest, getting into my car, flipping off the volcano, and then getting the hell out of here and going home. So I think it is a good time for us to do our trail rating. And for those of you who don't know, and since nobody ever really watches me, a lot of people don't know, we rate our trails on a scale of 1 to 10. It's an introversion scale, with a 1 being the worst possible scenario ever for an introvert, what I call introvert hell, and that is the equivalent of Disneyland on the 4th of July. And remember, Disneyland the 4th of July is the day in which Mickey has finally consolidated all his military powers and he has taken over the park. He is marching his troops and his tanks down Main Street and he's taking all the tourists as prisoners of war. But we're not done yet. Pluto, on the other hand, has decided to stage an insurgency and his troops are firing missiles. They're bombing everywhere. The candy shops are on fire. The animatronics are literally burning in the streets and the Matterhorn is somehow upside down and also on fire. There's a lot of fire in this particular scenario, so let's just say the entire park's on fire. And in addition to that, there's people screaming, there's kids screaming, and the price of churros is literally a kidney and a lung. I mean, it's a picture of a kidney and a lung on the menu next to each churro. So that's how expensive Disney has decided to make their sweet cinnamon stick treats. The opposite side of the scale, a 10, is equivalent to what I call introvert heaven, aka introvert nirvana. And that is just you in a research station in the middle of nowhere, all alone in Antarctica, except you are accompanied by a sentient, genetically modified, and incredibly intelligent human-eating squad of penguins. And they lay eggs quickly and reproduce all the time. So at this point, if you've been there for 6 months, you literally have an army. And your army is bigger than whatever Mickey has going through Main Street, USA. So you have solitude, you have love and peace. You can hear yourself think, and all is beautiful and bright in the world. And if any other research scientists try to trundle up in like a snowcat and try to get into your research facility, oh boy, the flapping of feathers and the waddling will be intense that day, my friends. Oh yes, it will be intense and bloody. But aside from all the avian-induced murder going on out there on the fields of Antarctica, and besides all the blood that's staining the snow around your compound, again, you have peace, you have joy, and that's what I call introvert heaven. So, on the incredibly stupid scale that I just described to you, and I swear this thing gets dumber every week. I'm just like making up, it's the same scenario every week, but I'm trying to make each description just as dumb as humanly possible until the camera breaks because it just can't handle the stupidity anymore. But on that scale, I'm going to rate this particular trail at about a 5. Now, as I said, it is kind of a hidden gem. It's a nice trail. It's a quiet trail. It's a trail in which you won't see a whole lot of people until you do. And see, the problem is you won't see the people literally until they're right there, because they seem to be everywhere. I don't know where the hell they're still coming from, but apparently that peak held a whole lot of hikers because they're still coming. And I thought I was up there alone. But on the other hand, there is a lot of solitude here. I've had just stretches and stretches and stretches where it's just me and my demented thoughts. I didn't hear any mundane conversations. I didn't see any other people. And then there'd be breaks within that in which I did, and that was awful. But overall, this hasn't been the worst experience. I mean, trust me, you've seen my videos. You know I've had much, much worse than this. So that leads us to the misery index, which is on a scale of 1 to 5, with 1 being a complete fiction. No misery whatsoever. If you just look at me for 5, just stare at me. I won't even say anything. Just look. You can literally see misery here, misery here, misery there. It flows through my veins. I am the most miserable human being in this or any other universe. What's my superpower? Misery. That's how miserable I am. So, I'm always miserable to one degree or another. But a 5 on the scale is the most misery I could experience ever, ever, ever. Unfortunately, I invent new ways to be miserable every week, and I'm constantly shattering that scale. When I did see people, of course, that was a 5 trillion because, ew, people. But for the most part, because I haven't seen a ton of people, I've seen enough to make it suck, but I haven't seen a whole assload of people, luckily. So, and during those times I'm at my default, which is about a 2.5, 2.5. So, I'm running that even though there's an airplane going. But yeah, overall, I haven't been too miserable. This has been a nice hike, except for the end. I'm not doing that that scramble. I don't understand people that do that scramble. Are you just jonesing for the Grim Reaper? Because I can tell you, looking at those tree roots that were dangling from the side of that hill, the Grim Reaper was there. He was just laying a trap, waiting for you. But given that, this trail has not been awful. And for this national park, which is a very, very busy national park, this is a hidden gem to some degree. I mean, yes, the gem is tarnished because there's literally people clinging to it, but it's better than a lot of the other trails you could have around here because there's at least some peace and quiet and not like 15 people per every step. So that's where we are on the trail rating today. That's where we are on their misery index. And this is where I am on the planet Earth. So, according to the thing that I wish Mount Rainier would erupt on and completely destroy, AllTrails, I have a little under a mile left on this hike, and thus a little under a mile until I'm back at the trailhead, back at my car, back at again the ability to flip off the volcano and to burn rubber and get the hell out of here. That means that it is now time for us to part. But before we do, let's do a quick recap. Today, I was out on the trail up to Eagle Peak, which unfortunately was not peopleless. But as the cracked out reviews on AllTrails did say, this is a little bit of a gem of a hike because I'm in Mount Rainier National Park. I'm in a very busy national park, and there's literally people oozing out of the volcano. But this particular hike wasn't that bad. It wasn't so full of people it was intolerable. I mean, yes, there were literally people coming mysteriously out of just thin air, but that's just how people do. I don't understand why they do, but people do. But along the way, we got to see some wildflowers. We got to see some Pikas. I actually saw a Pika. I'm really hoping it showed up on the GoPro. I'm doubting it because it's a freaking GoPro. But I did see a little Pika, had something in its mouth, was dragging it back to its nest like weeds or grass or whatever. And it was cute. Of course, that Pika also wanted me to die a horrible death because I was in its world. But who doesn't want me to die a horrible death because I'm in the world? I mean, that's just a default. And we also got to see some gorgeous views of Mount Rainier itself, that giant, humongous, incredibly scary volcano that will eventually destroy all of Seattle. But now that that's all over, it is time for us to say goodbye. And it is time for me to say, stay introverted, everyone. And of course, I'll see you in the next adventure.